afternoon, tea timers. Oh, happy day. The sun is shining today, guys. Oh, happy day. So, I looked at the videos of myself. I used to, when I was doing tea time, I used to, after every tea time, I would go back and listen to myself. And I don't do that so much anymore. But last night I was listening to myself and I was like, ew, Kai, you just keep saying the same thing over and over again. But I also noticed these photos behind me and how they're, hung askew. Good morning, good morning. And I want you to know that I hung those askew, not in frames, because these are pictures that hang at my office. And at my office, I'm in a cubicle, so I just use the little stick pins and I stick them use the stick pins to hold them up against the cork board or whatever that stuff is, the cubicle wall. No frames. So when I brought them home, I didn't bring them home at first. And then slowly but surely, I brought some of my office decorations, some of my cubicle things home so that home felt like work. That my workspace felt more and more like work. So this is how they hang at work, all askew. So I said, let me do it the same way at home so that it looks like my office space. Anyway, how are you guys doing this morning? How are you doing this morning? It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Let's see oh my God, I don't know who's here with me yet, but let me get there. But I tell you what, people, if you have not bought Erica's poetry book, do yourself a favor, pre-order her book, get that book. And if you order the hard copy, do that. That's fine. Good morning, Tobiah. The hard copy is fine, but you need to get her audible version of it, which audio book. Because to hear her read her poetry, oh my goodness. We are all in a book group, a book club, book group. And good morning, James. Good morning. We're all in a book club, and Erica read one of her poems to us yesterday. I am telling you, if you do not have Erica's poetry book, you need to get Erica's poetry book. And if you did not, good morning, Steve. And if you did not order the audio version, I don't know if you can order the audio version now, but when you can, get her book. She had me sitting there thinking in poem, right? She was reading her poetry, and all of a sudden I started feeling poetic. I started feeling what she was saying, and I started feeling like thinking and feeling the way she was speaking in that spoken word kind of way. It's beautiful. It is really beautiful. But today what we want to talk about is listening. Listen here. Listen here. Today, we want to and I don't think I'm going to get through all of it today because this is a topic that is really important. I didn't know, as much as I like to say I'm listening, and as much as I like to ask people, are you really listening? You know what, James? Why are you going to come on my feed sweating me about some tea? Uh-oh. So today, I wanted to have coffee. And I didn't have coffee. So now I'm having tea. We don't have, James, you haven't been here. You don't come very often, or I think you've come here a couple of times before, but we don't dish tea here. We talk over tea, just in case you weren't clear. But I don't have tea today. Today I have water. Because that coffee was nasty and I didn't have time to get my tea. Listening. How many times are you talking to somebody and you just want them to hear you? Are you really hearing me? Are you listening, and are you hearing what I'm saying? Or the sound may be there, but if you are just waiting to say something, waiting to give your perspective, waiting to So James, okay, so this is James's first time at the tea time table. James, let me welcome you to the tea time table appropriately. And all the rest of my tea time crew is not here to help welcome you, but I'm gonna need Steve and oh my Lord, I'm taking over by the men at the table today. I best be very careful. I need to start sending out some smoke signals so I can get some more of my women to the table today. Anyway, Steve and Tobiah, let's show James some love for showing up at our tea time table today. James, our tea time table is a time that we come together to discuss things that are on our minds, ways that we can improve, ways that we can improve ourselves, ways that we can become better parents, better friends, better lovers, better partners, better. We have been coming to the tea time table since the beginning of COVID, finding it as a way to release, a way to deal with some of the isolation that we feel during this time. Some of us have felt dealing with anxiety, focusing on self-care. So there's a lot that we do at this tea time table. Most importantly, we act a damn fool at the tea time table. We, meaning me. I know. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jasmine. You're the only woman here at the table with me today. Thank you. I will tread very lightly today. I'm sitting at the table with nothing but men. Where are they? They done abandoned me today. James, is usually more women than men at the table. We have fun, though. We love men and women at our table in whatever way is appropriate for us. In whatever way is appropriate for you. So today I want to talk about listening. So I got up and I was searching Facebook, and Pam has this wonderful post on her page. Pam has a post on her page that's talking about some different things that a training that she went through. And in that training, hold on, I'm trying to pull up the page. So in that training, it talks about empathetic listening versus dismissive listening. Now, communication is the key to everything, right? I don't know where Suli is right now, but I'm gonna have to get on Suli and Pam and Rose and Darlene and Lexi, and because I'm gonna have to tag them all on there. And Susanna, well, Susanna's usually not here during our talks, but anyway, y'all know I love y'all. Anyway. Communication is the key to everything. Every relationship success is really based on strong communication. And one of the major parts of communication, a lot of us think of communication as being able to talk through things, being able to speak up when you have concerns, not holding it in, having an open forum for conversation, right? But a key part of conversation and a key part of communication is listening. Listening, not listening to speak, not listening, waiting for your turn so that you can get your point in. Listening. So, you know what? I can't see who that is right now. They're saying, hey, Auntie. I can't see who that is. So put your initials or your name afterwards, because I have two screens open and I can't see you right now. So empathetic listening is what we're going to focus on today. So do you find yourself saying, oh, Suli, oh my God, thank you, Suli, you're here. Thank you. Because we got all men at the table today, Suli. I can't be at the table only by myself with all men, okay? I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't mind the men. But don't leave me here with the men trying to beat up on me. I don't have my bat swinging Suli next to me. We got to start over. Anyway, empathetic listening. Empathetic listening is where you're listening because you want to hear, hey, Jasmine, good morning, Jasmine, is where you want to hear what the other person is saying. You are listening in order to actually hear, understand, be able to connect with that person where they are. So empathetic listening is, okay, I'm listening. That sounds heavy. These are some of the responses when you're actually empathetically listening. You're listening to understand how the other person is feeling, how the other person is processing what they are going through. That's what you're listening for. So some of your thoughts could be, and some of the things that you could say in response when you are empathetically listening is, oh, I hear you. I understand that. I hear you. That sounds heavy. That sounds very difficult. I'm here for you. If you need me, if you need anything, I'm here for you. How did that make you feel? Somebody did something to you. I'm listening to you vent about your day. Oh, wow. Wow. Well, what did you feel about that? And what did you do? What did you wish you could do? Is there a different way that you wish that person would have come to you? How can I show up for you moving forward? What can I look? I'm leaning forward, like, let me read the screen. How can I show up for you moving forward? Is there anything else you want to share? Is there anything else about this? Any other way that you're feeling? See how when I'm listening to hear you, to receive where you are, I'm not throwing in anything about myself. I'm not saying, girl, that happened to me. Girl, that happened to me too. Oh yeah, my mama just died. Oh yeah, my daddy was just in the hospital. Oh yeah, I just broke my foot too. Girl, I'm in a boot too. Oh yeah, so my girlfriend broke, or okay, I don't have a girlfriend, but my guy friend's girlfriend broke up with him that same way. I know somebody that happened to. You know what they did? Sometimes I'm talking to my friends and I'm saying, yeah, I don't know how to do this. Or like knitting, let's say. I'm gonna pull an example. Knitting. I'm knitting something and I'm like, I gotta keep what does petting my dog while I'm cooking have to do with listening? Are you listening now? Is that Steve? Steve, answer me this, Steve. Are you listening now? Are you hearing what I'm saying? Or are you just waiting to get some little jibes in there, huh? You know, I know who I'm at the table with. But I'm still gonna clown you. You come to the table talking about, do you pet your dog while you're eating? What? I mean, while you're cooking? What's that got to do with listening? Oh, or maybe what you're trying to do is show what not listening really looks like. Good job. Good job. Very good job. That's a very effective way to show what not listening looks like. Hold on, let me get to where I can see. Yeah, I knew that was Steve. Good morning, Erica. Good morning, Erica. We have a new person at the table today. James, you still there? We have a new person at the table today, James. Everybody give James some love. See, when I had all men at the table and I asked everybody to give James some love, the men didn't give James love. What's up with that? I say give him love. Give him love, man. I get the women at the table. I'm like, oh, everybody throw some love up. And it's love all over the place. See, these women can teach y'all men a thing or two. I'm listening, but I saw you reach down to what looked like you petting the dog. I didn't reach down to the dog. I'm not sure what I was reaching for, but the dog isn't in here with me. Thank you for giving James some love, Erica. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm going to replug you while you were here. You missed your plug, Erica. You missed your plug. I already told everybody. Listen here. Get her book. Erica reading her poems to you will have you being poetic, will have you dreaming in poetry, okay? So get her book. Get her book. Powerful. So listening to hear what the other person is saying, to understand the other person's perspective. You know, sometimes we do this when our partners come to us, when our kids come to us. You're ready to fix. You're ready to start giving them what to do to get through that situation. Oh, well, I know what you can do. Well, if you would write with my knitting. Oh, I keep messing up. I have to keep taking it apart. Do it again. Oh, well, Kai, what you need to do is you need to write this down. And you need to do this and this and this. Write this down. Keep a log. Make sure I don't want to hear what I need to do all the time. Your kids, your partner, they don't want to hear, your friends, they don't want to hear what they need to do. Maybe they've already done what they needed to do, and all they're doing with you is just expressing a little bit of the frustration they had for the day, releasing it, just talking about it, venting. How about we take a position of listening empathetically as the norm? So instead of your friend having to call you and having to say to you, I'm just venting, I don't need you to answer these questions for me, I just want to talk. Instead of your friend having to say that, how about we start there? How about that be automatically what we're doing? I'm just listening to hear you. That's it. I'm not going to offer you any solutions. I'm not going to give you answers. I'm not going to tell you where to go find answers. I'm not going to start reminiscing about how the same thing happened to me and how I handled it when it happened to me. I'm not you. Who cares? I broke my foot too. Who cares that is it Erica that broke her foot? Look, everybody at the table don't hurt themselves. I can't remember who it was. Who cares? We were dancing at Carnival one year, and I have back issues. You guys know I have back issues, and we were and structural issues about my back that prevent me from moving in certain ways. Now, you look at me, maybe you might say, "Oh, Kai looks stiff." No, I'm not stiff. I'm not. It's actually not moving. Okay. I know that's what stiff is, but it's not something I can control. If the joints don't move that way, they don't move. Okay. So we're doing the dance practice for the dance routine that we're going to do in Carnival. And this woman comes up to me and she's like, "Oh, you need to move more like this." And I was like, "I can't move like that. I have back issues. That's problematic for me." She starts going on about her back issues. What do your back issues have to do with my back issues? First of all, we may not have the exact same issue. Second of all, even if we have the same issue, how you handle it is very different from how I handle it. So does it matter that we both have had back surgeries? I haven't. I'm just throwing stuff up there. But does that matter? No, it doesn't. Sure, Steve is listening. He has situational awareness, noticing everything. No, Steve ain't listening. See, listening is different. He heard me, but he wasn't listening, or he was listening and didn't hear me, one or the other. Steve was not noting everything. Steve was distracted. Don't be defending Steve. My feet are intact. Thank you. Okay. So, right. For now. But the point is, do you really need everybody commiserating with you about how the same thing happened? Oh, my kids are just as bad. Oh, my son did this, girl. Well, you think your son is bad. My son, blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, maybe if I came to you and said, "Hey, has your son ever?" That's the time. That's the time to offer up all of your stories about how badass your son is, or daughter, right? Or husband, or girlfriend, or brother. I mean, it's not always just about kids. Maybe that's the time. But how about what we start doing is coming from a point of empathy first. First. And sometimes your friends, I have friends who come to me for all solutions, right? So when I don't start offering a solution, I'm pretty sure they're looking at me like, "What's wrong with her? I need a solution." So I've gotten to the point where I'm like, "Wait, do you want me to tell you what I think you should do, or you want me to just listen?" So maybe what I'm going to start doing is trying to start off just listening. Because there are some things that show I'm listening to your foolishness and broke back stories. Thank you for the love. Suli, I said you got to be at the table on my side today, all right? Jesus, you people. You know I love you, Steve. All right, so what represents that we are, what are some of the thoughts and some of the things that we do that represent that we are listening dismissively? Dismissive listening is when you are listening in order to fix the problem. Think about when your kids come to you and they're telling you about a bully situation at school or some teacher that irritated them, and you start going into mommy fix-it mode. That's dismissive listening. Saying things like, "It could be worse." Okay. It could be, but it's not. And right now I'm dealing with this bad. Don't wish it worse upon me just so that I can feel a different level of bad. Today, this is bad. And although it could be worse, this is where we are today. What if you try this? Offering a solution. The same thing happened to my friend, commiserating about other people's like events, right? Oh, you should read or listen to or follow. Giving solutions, trying to fix it. I totally get it, because one time in band camp, no. Or, the one thing I hate more than anything other is people to say, oh, you're strong, you can handle it. Oh, you'll be fine. Oh, girl, that's not such a big deal. Huh? So if it wasn't such a big deal, it wouldn't be stressing me and I wouldn't be bringing it to you. If I bring it to you, it's enough of a deal for me. It's enough of a big deal that I need to talk about it. And when I need to talk about it, I don't need you dismissing what I feel about what I'm talking about. Or when your niece comes to talk to you, Auntie, you are a pro at this. Wait, at trying to fix it? Wait, you saying I'm a pro at trying to fix it? Uh-oh. Wait, what am I a pro at? I know you laughing at me, which means I must be a pro at trying to fix it. And I just said I'm about to be working on that, right? So don't be calling me out. I know you got to call me out. That's what we do at the table. I know. But I've gotten better. Jasmine. I've gotten way better at saying, okay, well, what do you want? What do you want? You want me to give you some answers? I've gotten better at listening, have I not? You better show your auntie some love. How many of you feel that that's so? How do you find yourself? How do you find yourself swaying? I actually, in looking at this, the reason I want to talk about this today is because I didn't really consider some of these things as dismissive listening. I'm being educated right now as I'm sharing this with you, as Pam shared it with everybody on her feed. As she was educated, I'm being educated and I'm helping to educate you. Good morning, Chelsea Macadocious. Ooh, I'm glad she wasn't here for the rest of this talk. It'd be Jasmine and Chelsea on my head. I'm learning now. I'm reading this and like, wow, that's dismissive. I mean, we are in such mommy mode, and when you are used to the person or best friend or Miss Fix-It mode, when you are used to being the person people come to for answers, when those same people come back to you, you are automatically prepared to start giving answers at a certain point. So Jasmine, well, stop typing, Chelsea. Stop typing while driving. Jasmine, you come to your auntie for answers. Auntie, how can I? Auntie, what about? Auntie, should I? You are coming to me for answers. 90% of the time, you're coming to me to get my opinion on something. So if 90% of the time you're coming to me to get my opinion, when you call and it's not to get my opinion, I don't know that. So I'm starting to end as you get older. So this is the thing. We also have to recognize people's growth. Just because you came to me for questions or for answers all the way up until you were 25, it doesn't mean for the rest of your life I need to be giving you answers. Just because I had a difficult time and I was struggling and I came to the table and I needed help with solving something, doesn't mean that every time I come to the table, I need help with solving something. So we have to be able to recognize people's growth. We have to be able to recognize that, yes, they needed answers now at this point, but now they're able to answer for themselves. And now I'm just here to be a sounding board, just to listen. And when they need answers, they'll ask questions again, right? So don't be hating on me, Jasmine. Don't be calling me out there like that. I'm transitioning, right? We all have to mind that transition and be able to make that transition. Yes, Pam, your post was, good morning, Pam. Your post was a wake-up call for me. Like, wow, wait a minute. And for me and the one thing that I find is frustrating when you give people answers and they don't do what you told them to do, right? I said you need to do this. If you had done it my way, you wouldn't be in this situation. I listen to what is being said. I don't give advice. I give an opinion about the issue. Ultimately, the person who has an issue is the one who needs to fix it. Yeah, Tobiah, but that's still dismissive. That's still dismissive listening, unless they ask you for your advice. That's the point. Offering up the advice without being asked for advice is dismissive listening. Now, it's different if people are asking you for advice, right? And that's what I'm trying to say to my niece. My niece is calling me regularly for advice. So that's not dismissive listening. That's listening. If you're calling me for advice, I'm listening and I'm trying to formulate what advice I'm going to give you as I'm listening to you and listening to the situation. That's not dismissive listening. Who told you to bust up your pinky toe? Man, Steve, you are so late to the table. My toe been broken for 2 months now, and it's 2 toes, not my pinky toe. My toe has been jacked up. My foot has been jacked up for 2 months now. Making that transition as a parent was hard, but I got it now. Yeah, Erica, that's the thing, especially as a parent, right? Transitioning from advisor, from dictator, sort of, right? Dictator, to advisor, to just sounding board, sometimes advisor, right? It's a transition, but we make it, and we have to catch ourselves. But we have to do that with our friends too. I don't know how many, and look, my mother still is giving advice, and now at a certain point, I'm like, all right, let the old lady talk. Y'all know I love my mother, and you know I give her a hard time. That's how we do. That's the relationship. But now it's like, okay, let her talk. She's elderly. Sometimes the elders need to talk, right? But at a certain point, I just don't want to be told what to do all the time. I don't want the advice. I don't want you to tell me, well, you should. Wait, it's my pinky toe, Steve Dorsey. What you talking about? Yes, Pam busted up her pinky toe. I busted up my pinky toe and my second toe. Look, I said my second toe. Yeah, I'm tripping. And my foot. But my boot, just so you guys know, I'm not in pain. My foot is not in pain, not anymore. The boot is relieving pressure off of the hurt area so that it can continue to heal the way it's supposed to heal. It is healing. The break is healing appropriately. The breaks are healing appropriately. But because I was still having pain, and this is the thing. Let me tell you. Okay, so when Pam hurt her foot, I know I'm switching gears here. When Pam hurt her foot, Pam hurt her pinky toe, which is called the fifth toe officially. Pam, exactly, Erica, from manager to consultant, exactly. From owner to manager to consultant. We got to throw the owner in there. So when Pam hurt her toe, Pam showed me a picture, and maybe it was posted on Facebook, I'm not sure, but she hurt her fifth toe, which is the pinky toe, but she hurt her fifth toe, pinky toe, and they put her in a boot. And I was like, they didn't put me in a boot, and I broke 2 toes, and I'm not in a boot. That's messed up. Why am I not in a boot? And I was thinking, okay, well, maybe her doctors will overkill, or maybe my doctors will underkill. I'm not sure. I've broken my fifth toe before, my pinky toe before, and I've never had a boot. I've always just had, just tape it. As a matter of fact, when I've broken my pinky toe, I didn't even have special shoes. It was just tape it. That's it. When I went to the podiatrist told me that with these broken toes, I should have been in the post-op shoe for 4 to 6 weeks. Now I'm sharing this with you because knowing how Pam's foot was treated, knowing how others at the tea time table have had their feet and ankles treated, I made an appointment with the podiatrist to make sure my stuff was okay, right? So he said I should have had the post-op shoe for 4 to 6 weeks. The doctor at the urgent care didn't even tell me I had to wear it. I came in shoes, and he said, you can wear those shoes. You can just wear those. And I said, well, no, these are my son's shoes. I stole them because they're bigger than mine, and therefore I can put my swollen foot in it, so I can't steal his shoes every day. He's like, all right, well, I'll give you this post-op shoe. It wasn't as if he was telling me, he was not telling me I have to wear that post-op shoe for 4 to 6 weeks, though the podiatrist said that's what should have happened. And why my foot is still hurting now, 2 months later practically, is because I should have been in that post-op shoe for 4 to 6 weeks. And as opposed to just taping 2 toes, the doctor should have taped 3 toes and should have had me taping 3 toes. So So just so you know, my foot is not really hurting right now. It hurts if it was hurting in the regular shoe if I walked too much or even a little bit. At the end of the day, my foot would be throbbing. So the purpose of the boot is to the way my foot sits in the boot, it keeps pressure off of that healing area, and therefore I don't have that pain. So this is the end of healing for me. You need to listen to people who tell y'all to stop breaking your toes. Who do you hang out with? All this pinky toe hammer time messness. Yeah, and when you come to the table with your broken toes, because apparently it's a tea time thing, uh, we don't want to hear about it. I always state that I'm giving an opinion. If they ask me for advice, I give it to them. People are the ones who have the ability to fix their concerns when given the right perspective. Right, 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 Tobiah. Yes, but Tobiah, the point is that you don't give unsolicited advice. You don't give unsolicited advice. Sometimes people may not be calling you for advice. So you wait for them to ask you. If you want to listen empathetically, and that's why I want us to all practice. If we don't already do it, I want us to practice that for this next week, this weekend and week with our kids, with our friends. Just practice. Yeah, I know. Right, Julie. Yeah, it can't be a tea time thing, or else you stop showing up, right? No, it's not a tea time thing. I will not claim it for tea time. That's not what we do. We don't break our toes at the table. So practice empathetic listening. Oh, great. Yeah, Tobiah. Then that's the thing. I think that I have that as an auntie who's always called for advice, I got into a habit, I think. I got into a habit of just always giving advice. And I'm starting to stop that. I'm starting to allow these youngins under me to give me advice, actually. I call them and ask them for advice. Now it's going both ways. So I think it's something we can all work on. Even if we're doing a good job now, we can continue to stay focused on how we are listening. Are we listening so we actually hear the other person, or are we not? Are we listening to give advice, listening to give our opinion, listening to get our word in? How are we listening? That's the important thing. Communication is key, but there are two parts of communication, probably multiple parts. A major part is listening. You need to hear what's actually being said. And if you are listening thoroughly, you're hearing what's being said and you're hearing what's not being said. So focus on listening, because people only say half of what it really is. And I'm throwing out half. I don't know what the real percentage is. But for as much as they say, there's a whole lot that they're not saying. And you can't hear what they're not saying if you're not really listening. If you're so busy trying to come up with what to say next, then you can't really hear what they're not saying. It should always be a two-way street. Exactly. So guys, I am going Suli, I want to say thank you very much for coming to us with coming to tea time from camping and tea. We got people at this table, and I want at some point I'm going to ask everybody at this table to think about the rest of the people who come to the tea time table and tell me. I want you to be thinking about this now, and probably in a week or so I'm going to ask you to let me know what you think. But I want you to be thinking about it. There are some of us who come to the tea time table regularly. And for each of those people, I've come up with, I have an idea of that person. It may not be true. It may not be the real way that this person is, but or their real personality. But I have an idea about what value this person brings to the tea time table. Everybody brings some kind of value. Just being here is valuable, but there is something that everybody offers. To others at the table. And one of the things that Suli and Pam and Bina do for me at the tea time table is to inspire me to get out and be active. And I know that I don't show up to the morning workouts like I should, like I would, but I'm telling you, regardless of whether I show up or not, they are inspiration for me to keep it moving. Suli, Pam, and Bina specifically. And Suli is specifically inspirational to get me out of the house during this time. I love camping. I don't love the water, but I love looking at it. I love camping. I love outdoor activities. And this COVID time has had me kind of locked in locked inside, right? And seeing Bina getting out, I'm not Bina, well, Bina too, Bina, Pam, and Suli, and Susanna. Seeing Bina, Pam, Suli, Susanna getting out, and so basically all my California people, really, except for you, Steve. Seeing all of you guys get out and enjoy the outdoors is inspirational for me. So I loved seeing your camping photos on Facebook's. Suli, please continue to share your adventures with us, because you never know who's watching and what inspiration those photos are for other people. Because now I'm sitting here like, ooh, let me find a campsite, because I love camping, right? Very inspirational. And and the fact that you out there with Z during school time, now I'm looking for a campsite with Wi-Fi. So you guys have a wonderful day. Please keep doing you. Keep doing you. Bina with her caramel making. Jasmine has I've been wanting to make extracts, vanilla extract, for so long, and haven't gotten to it. And my niece Jasmine connected me to a Facebook extracts group, and I'm about to be extracting up some stuff. Right, I'm about to make my own extracts for all of my baked goods, and that is the point that I want to get to, is to not have all of the not to have to buy these things, but to really bring it home, bring all of it home. I like to make and do everything my own, right? That way I can control the ingredients and what I have. So continue to bring your inspiration to the table. Just because I don't post, don't drink the Kool-Aid thinking I'm in the house. No, Steve, I'm messing with you. No, Steve, I don't think that you're in the house the whole time, but I mean that you have not posted the inspirational outdoorsy type stuff. So I can't say that you, my California person, has inspired me in that way. You inspire me in other ways, Steve. You inspire more of an academic me. But anyway, I want to just say, please continue to bring your talents to the table and to share who you are, even on your own Facebook feeds. I do, when I'm looking for tea time conversations, this conversation came from me looking at Pam's feed. So I get inspiration from all of you guys, and I'm pretty sure that everybody else does too. And I'm going to ask you guys at some point, like, when you think of the tea timers, is there any particular person that inspires you in one way or the other? Because we all need to recognize our value with ourselves, with each other, with the community, with the tea time table. Anyway, I love you guys. Have a wonderful, glorious day. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Tobiah. Just so you know, the Deborah's scarf is on its way. Well, it goes out today. We all have different ways. Exactly, Pam. We all inspire in different ways. Have a wonderful, glorious day. I will see you guys here tomorrow. Suli, be safe out there in the woods. Make sure you got your bat and your knife. Everybody be safe. Get out. But keep your distance. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. I'll see you tomorrow.